Yo, yo, yo. What up? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hold on right quick. Yo, yo. Oh. How's it going, y'all? Ozzy, what's up, man? Shooting Dio, J Boulevard, Alpha C, Wild Style, Frost Nix, what's up? ZK, everybody, Danny, Wild Style. Wow. Does anyone still watch Wildin' Out? Jalen, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Wait, hold on. Oh, there we go. I thought that was a little blurry. It might be. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? What's going on, y'all? Username Bree. I was gonna Bree. I was gonna text you about something just because I was curious, but yeah, I don't even want to text you about it no more. I don't want to ask you about it anymore. Um, but how you doing though? How's everything been going? Uh oh, Danny, you're learning Fatal Fury. You know, I started playing that game casually, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay casual with this game. I'm just gonna stay casual with this game because it's too much, man. Oh, Frostnix. Frostnix, hold on. Hold on. It's Frostnix's birthday. It's Frostnix's birthday. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I don't got it on. It's not on. Oh. It's Frostnix's birthday. Let's see if we can get this going. Okay, I might if I remember after the stream, I'll ask you, Bree. Um, oh my gosh, my soundboard's not working. My shit's not working. Oh well. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Birthday. She's joined. Aunt Frosnix is joining the auntie club, or she's been an auntie. Frosnix, you've been an auntie actually. What is auntie like after 30? Uh, after 30, that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you, gal. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. Nah, we some aunties and uncles in here, y'all. Star Child Loot Ozzy pulled out the Wii U and been running Star Fox Zero. Unfortunately, the critics were wrong on this one. Game rocks. Was the last stream when I said I don't give a fuck about reviews? Listen to the streets. I listen to the streets. I listen to the streets. No one listens to me until it's too late. Until it's too late. Until the time has already passed for people to listen, and then it's like, oh, you know what? But the damage has already been done. That's one of the questions I have to answer too, because this is a Q&A stream. So what up, chums? One of the questions is gonna be on that top. That's what some people want my thoughts on. So that's gonna be one of the topics we discuss. So it's not gonna. What's good, chums? How you doing, man? How you doing though? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Where is? Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. I got it. Happy birthday. It's too late now, though, but that's what I was trying to do the whole time during the birthday thing. But oh, it's Chump's 12-year anniversary. We got another chance. Happy. Wait, hold on. Wait, no, it's not happy birthday. Do you know what today is? It's your anniversary. It's your anniversary. Do you know what to do? Oh, she's playing that right. It's an anniversary. It's your anniversary. Do we got anything else? We got anniversaries. We got birthdays. We got any college graduations? I know it's May. High school graduations. What's going on? What's up? For if it's your high school graduation, I'll sing I Believe I Can. Well, no. I will not sing I Believe I Can Fly. We'll sing something else. But we or college, whatever. We'll give with the age of this stream, with the age of this stream, it might be someone's kids graduating high school. Who knows? You're moving to Boston. Okay, so you're moving. What's the guy who made that song? I'm moving out, Mama. I'm moving out, Mama. I'm moving out. I forget the guy who made that song. I forget the who's the one who made moving out. The white guy. Billy Joel. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Cool, y'all. Real Brit. What's up, man? How's it going? How old are most of y'all? Well, according to my statistics, the average age of my stream of you guys is like 26 to 35. You're getting the NPC sampler tomorrow. Is there a song for that? Nah, there ain't no song for that. You just gotta rap. You just gotta play beats and rap. Oh, Star Child's 36. celebrating my first week of work being over. We take the small pic. Oh man, good luck. Good luck. Congrats on the new job, especially in this economy. Alpha C, good point. People would never lie about their age on the internet, y'all. But yeah. So let's get started because today is gonna be an off-topic stream. We're gonna talk about a bunch of different stuff. I asked you guys to send in some questions if you had any. Um, so I'm gonna go through some of these questions and we're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff because I right now I'm still working on the next video and I haven't been really too invested in like um all the trending video game topics right now. I think that's also like I'm kind of just not as interested in trending topics in general as y'all know. So like um so yeah, this is just gonna be a stream where we just talk about a random stuff based on the questions y'all sent in. Hold on, let me post this on Blue Sky. I'm sorry, you guys. Ultra, what's up? What's up, Ultra? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Um all right. Let me read some of these questions. Let me start right here. Okay. So, what was the first? Well, okay, I do want to get this question out of the way. Cuz Tyler um asked me about this game Mixtape that just came out. And the conversation around Mixtape. So, I'm not going to spend too long on this. I'm vaguely aware of the different conversations going on around Mixtape. So, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, IGN gave it a really good review. People got mad, and because the game it's not a lot of gameplay, it plays itself. And then it got into a whole conversation about whether Mixtape is a real game. And then there was another conversation about how Mixtape, and this is another, I'm going to kind of combine these because also Verum had another question about Mixtape and how it's being received like by white people. And you know, even the whole aesthetic of the game being very white and how that appeals to a particular demographic. So from what I understand, those are the two conversations going on. Am I correct or am I incorrect? Or is there one? Is there? What up, Sal? What up? What up? What up? Or is there is there other stuff? Is there another aspect to it? It plays itself, so it's a Sony game. That's what I got from it. Okay, okay, okay. So those are the two things I'm gonna answer. Okay, so first of all, um with the fact that the game plays itself, or the fact that it doesn't have much gameplay, um, Shalon, the whole thing felt like perfectly timed example of what you were talking about in your game review stream. I mean, the jokes write themselves. But okay, I guess I'm kind of confused about a couple things with the Mixtape. So, for one, well, let's get this out the way. Being mad about the game reviewing well, being mad about any game reviewing well is always going to be weird to me. That's just always going to be weird to me. And I don't think there's much of an interesting conversation that I haven't already discussed that can even arise from that. So I don't exactly know what there is to even say. People are mad. People are mad when a game. People are mad when the game don't got gameplay. People are mad when a game just has gameplay. People are mad when, like, in terms of like a game reviewing well, right? That's even a critique of Breath of the Wild, and the fact that, you know, it's overrated, and people talk about, oh, but there, you know, it barely has a story. Okay, and now mixtape is just story, and you know that's an issue, and I don't know. I just don't. I don't really. There's nothing to really talk about there. In my opinion. I guess the second aspect of it about whether it's a video game. I think I'm at the point where I think a better question is, even if it's not a video game, why does that matter? Oh, all this is new. Yeah, even if mixtape isn't a video game, I'm not sure. Like, okay, where do we go from there? Like, what harm is it causing by not being a video game? That would be my next question. So I don't, you know. Now the third thing that we were talking about, or that some people were talking about, is and let me see if I can find the clip. About how mixtape is like a very white centric game, and how that resonates with people, that can affect how it resonates with people, you know, or affect whether it resonates with people. So let me see if I can find this clip from Kind of Funny that I saw. Oh shit, why did I do that? Let me see if I can find this clip. Okay, I found it. All right.
With it. Pretty soon you won't be listening to music. You start this game up, and immediately I'm just infatuated with it. Pretty soon you won't be listening to music. You'll be listening to who you were. And that, I just got chills saying it. You set in, and that is the thesis statement of this video game. I can't say it's anything but a masterpiece. This to me is a 10 out of 10 on the Kind of Funny scale.
This is a 10 out of 10. You know, this is a masterpiece. This is a game that I don't know if there's ever been a game I've played that I'm like, I could recommend this to anybody.
There is a level of something there in the subject matter that weirdly isn't for me. Like, I'm not connecting with it on as deep of a level as you guys, and it might be era, it might be age, it might be like, I did not grow up as a white kid in the 90s, right? Yeah. That said, I still think it's a very special game that I recommend to anybody.
You start this game up.
So that's pretty much what well, shout outs to Blessing, man. Blessing is cool. But no, that was the other piece of the conversation that I found kind of interesting. And Gene was kind of talking. Gene Park, from Washington Post, was kind of, you know, we kind of had a little. He gave me a reply kind of related to this topic, because we've kind of had conversations about how gaming, sometimes people have these conversations about whether gaming has peaked or whether we've seen everything that gaming has to offer. And one of the things that I think we are nowhere close to truly seeing yet with gaming right now is different perspectives and different stories and different cultural reference points, like truly being incorporated in video games in a very like holistic way. You know what I mean? I don't think we've seen that. We are nowhere close to seeing that on the level that we could see it at yet. And that has to do with a lot of things, you know. There's different cultures, different ethnicities, and different people with different backgrounds that don't even have access to the video game space in terms of like making video games in the same way that white people and Japanese people have access to that space. And by the way, I don't even necessarily mean that in the way of like, oh, those people, these groups, and we kind of were talking about this in Discord a little bit on a separate topic, but I don't necessarily mean that in the sense that like these different groups are intentionally like being blocked out or, well, oh man, it's kind of confusing to talk about. But what I mean is that it's not always like deliberately malicious in terms of like the way like these different groups don't have access to making video games in the same way that other groups do. Some of it is just time and place, right? The Japanese video game industry has been here for a while. It's been thriving for a while. So those stories and those cultures, yeah, so some of it can. That's why I had to stop myself. Some of it can be malicious. Like, for example, that game, that indie game Reloaded, and how even though the video game industry didn't necessarily stop that guy from making that video game, and Reloaded, if you guys don't know, it's a video game about it's by a black video game developer, and it's about someone going back into a museum and taking back like African artifacts, like, and you know, the main character is African, all that kind of stuff. But when he made that game, right, he got harassed. Like, he literally got harassed. So there's also, even if when some of us are allowed to enter that space, right, there's like a hostility that comes with that too. And that can make things like tougher than it would be if like it was just a white person or an Asian person making a video game like we normally see, right? So yeah, I think there are stories and there are perspectives and there are like even like creative philosophies that we just haven't seen yet because different cultures don't have access to the space in the same way yet. Yeah, some demographics are given more privilege, more leeway. Yeah. Even if it's not like even if it's not like deliberate malicious privilege, it can just be like an implied privilege that comes with being from the dominant demographic. Yes, and that's the other thing too, Frostnix, is that like groups that are like traditionally even like oppressed have a harder time like making games because they don't have the same amount of resources, or even like don't even have the same amount of connections. Going back to Mixtape, I don't know this as a fact, so y'all don't quote me on this, but also Mixtape, I think even there's this thing going around about it being an industry plant game because I think the developers or the people who published Mixtape, their parents are like super fucking rich or something like that. So they have had access to promotion and marketing that other developers or other groups might not necessarily have. So yeah, it creates this, just bringing it full circle back to mixtape. It creates this situation where you're going to see the same types of games because the same types of people are making video games. Not even just from like an aesthetic standpoint. Because if you want to get really deep into it, there are differences between how different groups approach art and creativity. You know, like Japan, even just looking at the difference between Japan and America, the way Japan approaches even, let's say, what's a genre that I can think of? Like, even the way Japan approaches fighting games is different from the way America approaches fighting games. The way Japan approaches RPGs, the way Japan approaches RPGs is different from the way America approaches RPGs. So even if you remove like the story, the aesthetic, the character representation aspect of it, even from a gameplay mechanical standpoint, if you don't have different groups and different cultures making things, we're going to have the same ideas being recycled mechanically and gameplay wise, you know? So yeah, that's kind of my answering that question about like mixtape and how we have these same demographics and same cultures kind of like regurgitating the same ideas, you know, on a consistent basis when that era was defined by the black art that came out back then for us. Yeah. So yeah, so that's that. So that's pretty much that. I don't want to spend too much time on mixtape though. I don't want to spend too much time on that. But those are pretty much my thoughts on that whole conversation. A lot of people in the chat though were like, "Yeah, I don't even know why we're supposed to care." That was an out of nowhere discourse. I was kind of confused on what was going on there, but yeah. Let me see the next question here. The next question is asking, oh, okay, we can talk about this. Because this is also a part of the big discourse that was going on recently. Fresh Ab Boy asked, ironically, kind of one of those industry plant type discourses to cause strife amongst people. Yep. Okay, let me pull this up. Got to know your thoughts on Star Fox. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Star Fox, because I didn't stream that week, so we can talk about it. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up Star Fox. Let me pull up Star Fox. Remake. Is there like a trailer? Not like, I don't want to see the direct. Star Fox trailer. Okay, I guess we can. This might be it.
Entry complete. Extend the wings.
Okay, so
G-Diffuser systems check. Sound off, team.
wait, what happened?
Slippy here. So far, so good.
This is Peppy. All systems go.
I see.
Falco here. G-Diffuser seems
Falco
fine.
fucking
Let's go.
Lombardi.
Enemy targets up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
Welcome to the world of Star Fox.
What you're seeing is footage of the game in action. While stage layouts have been kept the same, the visuals have received a major upgrade.
Slippy, stay in formation.
Banter between characters is also back.
Now you've done it, Slippy. Bogey on your tail.
I love
Cover me
those
while
sound
I
effects.
fine-tune my sensors. Oh, you got him?
Let me see.
Leader,
Let's keep on going.
this is Fox McCloud.
That's a
leader of the
fucking
Star
fox,
Fox
you guys.
Mercenary
That is a
Squad.
fox.
Prep the R-Wings. We've got a job to do, Star Fox.
That is a
We're
fox
gonna take the
wearing
system back
clothes.
from Andross, one planet at a time.
Falco Lombardi is the
Falco
ace pilot
fucking
and
Lombardi.
Fox's rivals.
Sounds
I don't know. I don't know why. Whenever I see Falco, I just want to say Falco fucking Lombardi. That just sounds like. That's just the vibe. You gotta say Falco, like Falco fucking Lombardi. Like that's just his vibe. Does that make? That's just his vibe. Falco fucking Lombardi.
There's no way Andross would expect us to launch an assault there. You up for another challenge, Fox?
Scans are showing unidentified energy emanating from within
Flippy
the
Toad
asteroid
is the
field.
team's engineer extraordinaire.
Incredible!
Is
Mastermind,
this so? I
the
guess that's
fate
it.
of the squarely on their shoulders.
So, y'all, let me be real with y'all, because I didn't say anything. I didn't say much when all this was happening. I like it. I said this is on record that I was. It's not. My mind didn't change on this. The moment I saw it, I was like, huh, I like it. I like how it looks. As someone who I've played Star Fox 64. I've beat Star Fox 64 2 times. Once in my childhood. What up, Roger? What up? Go home. I mean, welcome home, Roger. Do people say that to you a lot from sister? But no, I liked it. I like the art style. I mean, I like the art style, and when I initially saw it, it was shocking, but immediately I was like, something about this makes sense to me. Something about the way this looks makes sense to me. I would even go a step. You know what's crazy is that, like, I almost want to take it a step further. I think they didn't go far enough. Not necessarily like with the characters. Like with the characters, they went far enough. But I almost want to say I kind of wanted, even though it's not ugly, I wanted the gameplay part with the ships and shit to even look a little more gritty. And I don't know why, for me, that just makes sense for Star Fox. Like the and you know, some people have pointed this out, and maybe this is like where this may have been like a subconscious thing, but people have pointed out, right, that let me see. Yeah, I think there's also like a fundamental difference in how, like, people who grew up with video games, like in the old days, right? I think there's a part of this where people aren't fully honest. I don't know if honest is the word, but when we were playing video games back then, can we be honest that we were thinking about like how it would look if there was like more yeah, James, yeah, the James looked gritty. Yeah. It's because Star Fox always was striving for realistic rendering. Like, look at the GC era of Zero. They've been furry for some time now. Yeah. I think even look like hold on. Let me look at Star Fox 64 for a second. I'm trying to find like.
It's quiet. Star Wars.
It's quiet, too quiet. That is iconic. That shit is iconic. But even look at this, right? There's even like a this doesn't come across to me as like cartoony. This is why like so this is like the colors here are like very muted. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not like a bright looking game. What the heck? Look at how dark this is, right? On the N64. I don't know if like they're playing the actual N64 version, but and then you go, this is why I said I think they should have leaned harder into like being gritty. Because then if you go back to this, right? If you go back to this, like
We need your help, Star Fox.
Hey there, General.
this is like super bright and like
Is footage of the
you know what I'm
game in
saying?
action. While stage
It's like I
layouts
don't
have been
really.
kept the same,
It's fine.
visuals
I'm not
have
saying this is.
received a
I hate
major
this. It's
upgrade.
like okay, it looks fine, but people are like, oh, you know, why is Star Fox like, you know, so realistic and gritty? But when I look back on the 64, it feels like that's what they were trying to do. In my opinion, that feels like what they were trying to do. So even like this feels like a compromise to me. So so the fact that people are talking about the character models being too realistic, I'm like, I don't know. That makes sense to me. No, I don't think it was because of the hardware. I don't think it was. Well, hold on. I do think it was partly because of the hardware. I do think it was partly because of the hardware. But even just Star Fox, like generally, when you look at like the promotional material and stuff like that, like when you look at like all the promotional material, let me zoom in on this. Like, I don't know, like nothing about, I don't know. I never really got the vibe that they were trying to be like bright and like cutesy. I never really got that vibe. There was a tweet I saw about that encompassed exactly what Star Fox has always felt like. Top Gun plus 80s sci-fi and space battles. Yeah. Miyamoto has cited Thunderbirds as an influence. Interesting. Yeah, so that in my head, this is just me. I'm not talking about like y'all. Look, I'm not talking about what they should do, what they shouldn't do. None of that. I'm telling y'all about like how What up, DeFritos? What up? I'm just talking about like what I think they were going for. Even like, look, like let's even go. And Shalant, you know what's interesting? That's kind of what I mean, is that like the realism of them, like that's why I say at the beginning, like them, that looks like a fucking fox. That looks like they just put animals in a suit. I almost want to say like that's what they were going for. Like and also there's an element of this too. There's an element of this too that kind of feels very provocative to me in a way that is interesting. Because let's go back here. Let's go back to this. Read what this says right here. revolutionary super FX microchips create special effects like never before, right? So there's also a history here with like Star Fox kind of like always being this like this showcase kind of thing. In terms of like visuals, but then also the uncanniness like with Falco and like how his legs kind of look really like almost like a chicken, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, there's something interesting. Like, let me say this, because let me put it in a different light. If they had just done something very cartoony and like clean and proportional, it kind of would have been boring. Especially in the context of them like doing a remake. I don't think there would have been anything like visually interesting about that for me. I'm not talking about like, again, everyone can have their opinions about like what they should have done. That's fine. That's cool. But for me, the fact that they did that is kind of like, there's something like really like provocative about that. Like, okay, let's make them look really like off a little bit. You know? So for me, that kind of gives it like an edge that that's just like, oh, okay, this is like striking. You know what I mean? So for me, it looks really cool. The character models, and I think they should have leaned harder into making this feel like a grotesque kind of like sci-fi realism thing. Because, and I think there's one more element of this too, where I think realism with, let's go back to this. I think realism with like anthropomorphic characters kind of comes across differently to me than realism with humans.
We've got a job to do, Star Fox.
Because there's like a silliness and an offness to, where's that pic with like that shot with Falco and his legs? I wish I knew where that was on here. Yeah, I can't find it. But when they showed Falco's legs, I was like, oh, they're leaning into it. That's weird. Like, but in a way that's like, okay, I get it. You know.
There's no way Andross would expect.
Scans are showing unidentified
Even Slippy's skin, like, it just looks off, like, you know what I'm saying? But in a way that's like, okay, cool, you know.
A stable warp channel? Did you see the distortions?
That base is the gateway to the wider system, Fox.
And Peppy Hare is their strategic mastermind and veteran pilot.
But that's my opinion.
Just this. Hit 'em
Oh, it's towards the end? Let me see. By the way, the fact that they got the mouse controls and shit, that's fucking awesome.
Joy-Con 2 controller like a mouse. You can seamlessly swap to mouse control.
I might play in this mode. This might be what I do.
Flippy, stay in formation.
But yeah, sorry guys, I like it. I hope that's okay. Yeah, yo, that's what I'm, yo, Shalon, that's why I was saying I wish they had leaned harder into it, because I'm not sure if Andross's brain is going to look as grotesque as I want it to look. If it's happening in the gameplay section. If it's happening in the gameplay section, I don't know if they're gonna lean that hard into it for like the gameplay stuff. Like, I don't know if that's just for the cutscenes where it gets like that grotesque, realistic thing going on. That's my only opinion. Like, I like the direction, but I wish they went harder into it. Whereas, like, I think people just don't like the direction. Whereas I'm like, man, they could have went harder. They kind of compromised a little bit here. It still looks cool though. It looks fine. By the way, I'm excited for
or online using GameShare via Game Chat.
Where's that part?
By holding your Joy-Con 2 controller,
Yeah, I'm not about to be
you can seamlessly swap to mouse-controlled targeting for intuitive aiming and
trying
steering.
to find all these different parts. It's not showing up at the bottom. What do I think about it being a remake? Well, okay, I got two things.
One of the Joy-Con 2 controllers with a second player.
With the remake thing. With the remake thing, I have, first of all, I haven't played Star Fox 64 in when was the last time I played Star Fox 64? I haven't played it. It's probably been like 20 years now since I played Star Fox 64. Because I think the last I beat it on the N64. Like, I played that game a lot on the N64. And then I played it again when it came out on the Wii. And I'm pretty sure I beat it on the Wii. I think I beat it on the Wii. I don't remember. But so it's been a long time. So for me, being a remake doesn't really matter because, like, it hasn't been recent since I've played the game. So, like, it's not that fresh in my mind. So that I don't process that part of it, all of it. And then the second element of it too is that I've been seeing people try to say that, like, this is like the fourth remake or something. And recently is how I found out that people count Star Fox Zero as like a 64 remake. And then the second question I asked after that is like, oh, y'all didn't play Star Fox Zero. If you think Star Fox Zero is a remake of 64, you didn't play Star Fox Zero. Sorry, you didn't. You did not play Star Fox Zero. That is not a fucking remake of 64. Not a remake, but maybe it takes elements of it and that kind of thing. That is not a fucking remake. Yeah, it's like a reimagining, you know. That's more what I will call. So I don't know. But here's the thing, and let me kind of broaden this to like a general remake conversation. Wild Style was Zero isn't a remake. Zero isn't a remake. There's too many differences in Zero for it to be a remake of 64. It's too many, the walker stuff, the controls, which are required, right? Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know why people are calling that a remake. Yeah, maybe a reimagining, maybe a retelling. Yeah, people are so obsessed with narrative, they'll call everything a remake until Andros isn't there, I swear. Yeah, it's definitely like narrative brain rot. It's definitely like narrative brain rot. At that point, you might as well, some Mario games are remakes by that logic. You know, some of the 2D Mario games, I mean, because Yeah. Same with Legend of Zelda. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. That's a weird take. Oh, people, yeah. People counted it. Okay, got you. Yeah. Yeah, I got you, Wild Style. So that's kind of a weird thing. I don't know. But even, I do want to say, generally, though, I'm not really like, if y'all want discourse about like whether remakes are good or bad for the industry, I'm going to be real with y'all. This is not really the place. Because I don't really give a fuck. Like, when a remake happens, right? And I'm not interested in it because it's a remake of something like maybe I already played it or whatever. I just ignore it. I don't. It doesn't bother me. Like, for example, Persona 4 is getting a remake. Persona 4 is like the game that got me into the Shin Megami Tensei series. It's like a very important game in my life. I'm not playing that remake. But it's not necessarily because like, oh, I think remakes are bad or anything. It's like, yeah, a remake of Persona 4 doesn't interest me. I just move on. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the conversation that people are having about remakes is as deep for me as it is for everyone else. I think the other element of it too is we are in a highly saturated era for every industry. Like whether it be movies, video games, TV shows, whatever. We are getting a lot of TV shows, a lot of video games, like more video games than we ever got in past decades. More video games and more music, more everything. We have too much of everything. So if you were to take the amount of original stuff that we're getting these days, and combine that with the amount of remakes that we're getting these days, and then compare it to the amount of original stuff and amount of remakes we were getting, you know, in past decades, we still have more original shit to play now than we did in the past. Even with the amount of remakes that we're getting now, we still have more original shit than ever to play. So no matter how many with the amount of remakes we're getting, I'm not pressed about, you know, oh my gosh, another remake. It's like, yeah, but we got like so much shit coming out in general that it's just, it barely matters. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter to the same extent to me. I think there is like another conversation to be had though about, yeah, the population is growing. Yep. You can't say my wallet is crying while also complaining about remakes. For sure. There's also some element, though, I will say, where, and I don't think this has to do with like a remake conversation, but let's look at Atlus, for example, going back to the Persona 4 remake conversation. So Atlus has like, what do they have coming out? Like Persona 4 remake. They got Persona 3 Reload that came out recently. They had the Raidu remasters that came out last year, I think. And then I'm trying to think of like original, and then they had Metaphor that came. Yeah, then they had Metaphor that came out. Not published games. I mean like Atlus proper, ZK. But then you go back to previous eras of Atlas, right? And we had stuff like Devil Survivor, a Digital Devil Saga, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. What else we had? Strange Journey, and then mainline Shin Megami Tensei, Persona. All of these things were happening at the same time. All these different spin-offs within the Shin Megami Tensei series. But then what ended up happening is that as budgets got bigger, right, for these video games, and as market pressures increased within these companies, you get less diversity. So now it's just like Persona and Shin Megami Tensei instead of Persona, Devil Summoner, Devil Survivor, Digital Devil Saga, like et cetera, et cetera. We have less diversity within like the series, right? But I don't think, and I guess the best way to put this is like, I don't think that remakes are the cause of like us not getting these like different spin-offs or these different like lower budget experimental titles. I think what's happening is that the market pressures create a situation where if you release something like a Devil Survivor now, this is actually what I'm trying to say. Because we have so many games now, not just from like within these companies, but like from gaming as a whole, like more companies, including indies and all these things, are making games, right? That creates a situation where every individual studio and every individual publisher has to take less risks. Does that make sense? Like, because there's so much more competition, each individual entity has to take less risks. So it's kind of a weird situation where like we're getting more diversity in the industry as a whole, but each individual studio and each individual company is like taking being less diverse. So it's like a weird situation that we're in where it's like we're getting more like easy example since we're talking about Star Fox. Right now, there are more small Star Fox-like games that you can play right now than there were in the era that Star Fox was being made. Like, there are a bunch of indies that have been making like Star Fox type shit, even though Nintendo themselves have been making like fewer Star Fox games, you know. Or another example is that like even though Sony has become more focused and more less diverse in the games that they offer, right? They don't make Wipeout anymore, for example. But we have a bunch of Wipeout-like games that have been coming out from other companies. So it's a weird situation. And I guess this also circles back to how much do you care about who made the game that you're playing? You know what I mean? Like, does it matter that you're not getting Wipeout specifically if you're getting like a bunch of fast fusions? And this gets into a whole conversation about like people get too attached to IP and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't want to spend too long on that though. I don't want to spend too long on that. But yeah. Yeah. Considering a lot of spiritual successors by the same. Yeah, that's true, Ashes. Yeah, Athena begging Konami for a new Castlevania when Metroidvanias are everywhere. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm not somebody who's like super attached to companies like that, you know. So for me, I look at the landscape as a whole in terms of like whether I'm bothered by something as opposed to like what is this specific company doing. Like people talk about like, oh, Sony, you know, only makes, you know, these types of games, and it's like, okay, I don't need Sony to be everything to me. You know what I mean? I don't need Sony to be my one and like if they only make movie games, I can just get my non-movie games from like somewhere else. I don't need them to like be the one-stop shop for every type of game that I can play. Like I don't really need that. That's not necessary for me. I pick and choose what I want from each company and then I take it or leave it. But I don't need them to be like, oh, Sega needs to give me my first-person shooter. They need to give me my fighter. They need to give me my RPG. They need to give me my XYZ. They need to, you know, it's like, no, I need that. Really? Y'all do what makes sense for y'all. And like, as long as the overall market is fine for me, then I'm cool. So a lot of what I talk about is like, yes, for sure. There is definitely like a nostalgia element to it too. Yeah. For me, man, a lot of my gaming takes are about like, does this actually affect me personally? And if it doesn't, I'm not gonna pretend like I give a fuck. You know, I'm not gonna pretend. I can't lie to y'all and be like, oh, I care that this is a remake. You know, I don't. I don't want to lie to y'all, man. I don't want to lie to y'all. So if it's not affecting me personally, then, or let me say this, or if I don't see like greater repercussions for like how this affects me. So the reason I have issues with roguelikes isn't necessarily because like roguelites are inherently bad. It's because roguelites, those elements can seep into games that I actually care about. You know what I mean? So for example, the Splatoon DLC that we got ended up being like roguelite DLC because that shit is trending right now. You know what I mean? Versus like it being more similar to like Octo expansion. That affects me personally. So you know, I have to have an issue with the fact that this is trending because, you know, it's seeping into other shit that like I do care about. But if roguelites weren't infecting everything, if it could just stay over there in its whole thing, then like cool. But yeah. Let me answer. Okay, we spent a little too long on that. Let me answer the next question. Let me get to the next question. So that's Star Fox and mixtape, y'all. I talked about Star Fox. I talked about mixtape. Same with Adventure Light RPG stuff. So many games just have them that don't need stats. Yes, that is why I have an issue with the RPG elements thing. It's because it's seeping into shit that I like. You know what I mean? But if it just stayed. If there was no risk of it like taking over everything and like seeping into everything, I wouldn't have an issue, you know. But there is, because gaming for some reason has to become like this one Like, oh, if one game does this, oh, this should be in every game. Y'all remember when Breath of the Wild came out and people were like, oh, now every open world should have climbing. No, that's not how it works. That's not how games work. No, this worked for this game. Climbing worked for that game. So, like, they did it there. But I think people see, like, games that have certain features that they like, and they're like, oh, now every game should do this because I liked it in this game. No, man. No, that's not. I don't like that way of thinking. Okay, let me see. Let me go to Blue Sky because I've been like just looking at Twitter questions. Oh wait, actually no, I gotta answer ZK's question because ZK asked me something on Discord. Let me see. ZK, what genres, systems, or design philosophies do you think are going to shift the most over the next 5 to 10 years? And what current genres do you think are slowly become legacy gaming spaces? Okay. So what genres or systems or design philosophies do you think are going to shift the most over the next 5 to 10 years? That's a dark question because the way things are trending now, man, like it feels like, well, okay. Let me not be pessimistic. Lately, there does seem to be, I think roguelites are going to die in 5 years too. I do. I think that trend is going to end. This is going to be a risky take. But I think gaming is going to reach a point where we almost have to have like a deconstruction moment where everyone starts pulling back. Like everyone starts pulling back and being like, wait, you know what? We don't need this much content. We don't need this many systems. Side quests these side quests, you know what? This shit is kind of pointless. Let's like, why are we making people fetch all of these like these carrots for no reason? I think we are gonna reach a point where developers have to pull back. Yeah, the graphics thing, I think that's kind of like already like understood among them. I'm even talking about just like the gameplay and the concepts and the content and all that. I think we are going to reach a point where everyone's like, yeah, we got to pull back. We don't need all this. Even something like Pragmata, right? People didn't seem to have an issue with Pragmata being, well, I beat Pragmata in like 9 hours, you know? People didn't seem to have an issue with it. And then even something like Invincible Versus, right? Look at how Invincible Versus launched versus how 2XKO launched. Like Invincible Versus, granted, is invincible, so there is like a IP element to it. But Invincible Versus sold like 1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like it sold like 1 million units, and I'm gonna get to what you just said, Sel, because that's a part of what I'm talking about too. But and it was priced at like what Invincible Versus like $50. So I think what's gonna end up happening is that developers and studios are going to adapt to what like customer behaviors and market realities in a way that is realistic. So even like how Star Fox Remake is like $50, for example. I think that's Nintendo acknowledging that, like, well, this is a rail shooter, it's a remake, and we do want to put this kind of game out. Let's make it $50 so that, because we know how people are going to respond to this, and they'll be okay with it if it's like $50 or $60, whatever the price is. So I think there's going to be a lot of, like, you know, finagling and playing with optics in marketing wise in order to allow studios and developers to push these de-bloated more what's the word I'm putting, more minimal games, you know, not just in the indie space, but I mean, like, even in the, yeah, variable pricing might revive dormant genres and thus design philosophies. Yes, yeah. So I think, because if you look at Invincible Versus, right, that game didn't do nothing different from what other fighting games have been doing. Had a trash story mode. That story mode was, I think y'all, if y'all were here when I was playing it on the last stream, that story mode was fucking ass. There was like there was nothing to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just some bullshit ass fighting cutscenes, basic ass gameplay, and then that was it. That was the story mode. Basic ass arcade mode, right? There's stuff for you to unlock and all that, but that game, Invincible Versus, didn't do nothing revolutionary. And it even, like, if you compare it to something like Street Fighter 6, like, which we had this elaborate, like, oh, you go around fighting and all that, which is cool, it's fine, but is that really why people are playing fighting games? You know why people are still playing Street Fighter 6. It's because they want to play against their friends, they want to get good, the mechanics, the multiplayer, all that kind of stuff. I think we're going to reach a point where developers are like, okay, we know why people are playing these games, let's just give them that. And let's price it accordingly so that they don't complain, or let's do whatever we got to do so that they don't complain. But let's be realistic about why people are playing these games and just do that, because there's too much competition. We can't, you know, we see the what they're actually, we have the what's it called? The telemetry, right? So we see, like, the modes that they're actually playing, how long they're playing these games, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I just think that developers are just going to be, like, brutally honest about, hey, we don't need to be doing all this. We're going to pull back. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's my theory, because I think I don't think there's a world where everything becomes Crimson Desert. I don't think, for one, I don't think people have enough time for every game to be Crimson Desert. So just there's like a market and time reality that almost like requires all games not get to that point. You know? So yeah, I think we're just going to see a lot more focus. Stuff like Crimson Desert, I think, is like the end point of, like, before we reach the true collapse of, like, okay, games can't be video games. So, and yeah, I don't even want to say I'm necessarily saying short games. I think what I more mean is, like, focused games, because something like the Silver Case isn't short per se. It's not long either, but it's focused. I think developers are just going to be like, no, this is what the game is, and, you know, people can do what they want to with that. Yeah, GTA 6 will probably be the harbinger of the collapse. Yeah. A good analogy I like to give is that like it's similar to what happened to music videos in the 2000s. Because if y'all remember, music videos in the 2000s, like the budgets got crazy. Like the Doesn't Really Matter video by Janet Jackson. I know Beyonce had a couple expensive videos. Like music videos just started getting like super extravagant and big and all that. And then by the time we hit like the 2010s, that stopped because the market couldn't sustain that, and people stopped giving a fuck. They were like, "Oh yeah, we seen it all. We don't even have time to watch music videos like we did before." So spending that amount of money on music videos like they did in the early 2000s stopped making sense. So yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen. Let me get to the next question because I'm trying to get through all the questions this time. I never get through all the questions. Let me see. Okay. This is a fun one. Favorite meal that Lucario asks, favorite meal that can be cooked in under 20 minutes. Favorite meal that can be cooked in under 20 minutes. I gotta say eggs and sausage. Like a breakfast, like egg, sausage, French toast. I cook that in under 20 minutes. Like a breakfast, like a good breakfast, egg, sauce, anything in the air fryer for sure. I'll be throwing that chicken in the air fryer a lot. So, no, that's what I'm going to say, like a breakfast thing. That's like my favorite thing that can be cooked in under 20 minutes. Yeah, air fryers, man. Whew. Cooking stream? Air fryer does feel like cheating, yeah. I got chicken in the air fryer right now. Cooking stream. That would be hilarious. If I did doing a cooking stream would be hilarious. I think that would be funny. I think that would be hilarious for me. Okay, Cinti Score asked, top 5 college meals. Ramen. A basic ass sandwich. Rice doesn't take long. You're right. A basic ass sandwich like a turkey and tomato and ranch. Man, sandwich it. Peanut butter and jelly? Come on now. Hell yeah, Roger. Okay. This is the next question from Cinti Score. I almost got distracted. What's something you're good at that you know you're good at? Something you're not good at that you're working on improving? Let me open this up. What's something you're good at that you know you're good at? Something you're not good at that you're working on improving, and something you're not good at but you're at peace with it. Okay. I like this question. Smooth peanut butter, obviously liquid. Come on. Nobody want to be like having their mouth like this when you chewing that hard ass chunky like. Don't nobody want to be doing that when they like eating a sandwich. But okay. Something I'm good at that I know I'm good at. 2 things. Because I'm cheating and saying 2 things, but these are kind of combined. I'm very good at writing. I've come to realize that I'm very good at writing. So, whether it be writing music, writing songs, which is like how I first started. And now that I've gotten into this YouTube thing, I've realized like, okay, yeah, I'm just good at writing. I think that's my thing. in every area that you can write. Like I just know how to write for it. That's just a thing for me. And I was gonna say the second thing is like, I guess being creative overall. That's my thing. Like I'm really good at creating, I think. And knowing like, oh, okay, this looks good here, like this goes right here, this aesthetic makes sense with this. Peace out, Armagon. Peace out. Yeah, I think I'm good at creating and good at writing. Like those are my combined things. Something I'm good at that I'm working on improving. That's a good question. Oh, okay. No, I know the answer to this though. I'm good at fighting games, but I want to reach a particular level that I'm just not at yet. You know? Like I feel like I'm really good at fighting games, but I need to reach that next level. It's just a personal goal. Because for me, a lot of my relationship with skill-based video games is about pushing my mind to like higher heights. Like because that ends up like showing all right, Goku. Because that ends up showing up in other ways in my life, you know? Like when I reached immortal rank in KOF, that gave me like a certain confidence about like, oh, wait a minute. Like if I can do that, if I can reach this goal that felt impossible to me like a year ago or a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, then that kind of subconsciously gives me like confidence in other areas of my life and helps me understand how my mind works on a different level. You know, like, oh, okay, like this is how you practice. This is how you get better at things. This is how you stay resilient. This is how you learn. Yeah, they give you an ego boost, but also like even outside of the ego thing, they help you like understand like, oh wait, I kind of why do I get emotional about this, or why do I not? Okay, let me give y'all an example of what I'm. Yeah, the problem solving aspect. So let me give y'all an example of what I mean. Like, so when I was first started practicing KOF, right? There was like an element of learning things piece by piece that because of the reality of how much time you have, you almost are forced to like learn certain things piece by piece. So there will be moments where I'll be like, okay, today I have to like learn one part of this combo, or today I have to learn one block string that I'm having issues with. There would never be a day. Peace out, Roger. Peace out. There would never be a day where I was able to like understand everything all at once. Like there would never be a day where I'll be like, oh, okay, like I figured out K-Dash's combo routes. I figured out this block string. It will always be like, oh, okay, today I got to do this. Take that over to like how I go about doing my videos or doing video editing or doing my scripts. The way I go about script writing is I'll write 300 words on one day and be like, okay, that's it. 300 words. And then I go and do something else. And then I do 300 words another day. And then I do 300 words another day. And then by the time the week is over, I'm done with the script. Versus 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before I understood how my mind worked and before I understood how the process of improvement and reaching a goal worked, I would be like, man, like if I can't do the whole video in one day, like if I can't do 2,000 words in one day, I'm not going to do the video at all because like 2,000 words is a lot. Versus me being like, well, 300 words isn't a lot. 300 words isn't a lot, and I can do that in a day. And if I do 300 words every day for 6 days, I'll eventually finish the video. So it's that idea of breaking things up mentally, piece by piece, that I learned from like practicing fighting games. And then practicing that in fighting games helped me carry that over into like when I was doing Esperade. And this is something I recently realized about my like Esperade 1cc is that a lot of people, and I've said this several times, but a lot of the comments I got were like, wow, this is crazy that this was the first game you chose for your 1cc. This is very difficult. But for me, like, I think learning how to practice and learning how to learn from fighting games, I was able to take that over to how I was learning Esperade, which was like, okay, today I'm just going to learn this pattern. I'm just going to practice this pattern today and then rest and then move on to the next. As opposed to me being like, oh, let me try to beat the whole game every day. Instead, I was like, I'm going to practice everything piece by piece and treat it like, okay, once I learn this piece, that is an accomplishment. Whereas like, I think people feel like, oh, if I don't climb the whole mountain, I haven't accomplished anything. Whereas like you should switch your mindset to be more like, no, if I like got through 10% of the mountain, that's huge. Like that's a big deal. And I can do that again, and I can do that again, and I can do that over and over and over again. And then, oh, wait, now I climbed the whole mountain. And I didn't even realize it because I wasn't focused on the whole mountain. I was just focused on the goal right in front of me. So I think that is like what I got from like being good at fighting games and how I'm going about improving on it right now. Yeah, taking it little by little and making those little goals a big deal. Like, oh, okay, like I learned this pattern, like cool, like awesome. And that's it. You know, I think with video games specifically too, I think we focus so much on like, oh, beating games is like the big thing. But it's like, no, you should make miniature wins, make mini wins. You know, take it one day at a time. Okay, and something this is the last part of the question because I kind of got on a little tangent. Something you're not good at, but you're at peace with. Something I'm not good at that I'm at peace with, I'd say is, I think, maybe sports, like actual physical sports, but I wouldn't say I necessarily, because that's not something I think about. That I think about. F-Zero. No, I'm not at peace with that. I'm gonna get good at F-Zero one day. Nah, fuck that. Nah, I'm getting good at F-Zero eventually. That's a good question though. Something I'm not good at that I'm at peace with. No, you know, if I lock in on F-Zero, I think I can get good at F-Zero. I think I can get good at F-Zero, actually. Oh, you know what? You know something I'll say? This is like a weird one. But I kind of do wish I could draw a little bit. I'm good at graphic design, but like I do wish like I could do more with like visuals and stuff like that. But I'm cool with not being able to like go super crazy with like visuals. I have limitations with like my graphic design abilities. Like I'm good at like y'all see it. I'm good at graphic design, but I think if I knew a bit more, I could do more. But I'm okay with like where I'm at. I'll ask for help for the other stuff. Coding, that's a good one. That's a good one, actually. I think that's actually my answer. I'm going to say coding. Because I really will want to be good at coding. But, nah, I'm not good. So that's that. That's that. Let me see. Let me go back to Twitter. Oh, wow, that answer, I didn't realize I answered this question indirectly. I've seen people talk about ranked grinding in fighting games and how that can be a poor way to improve. So I was wondering, what's your take on how to use ranked in effective ways, especially for new players? You use ranked, ranked, in my opinion, is more so like a convenience thing. Not I don't mean in terms of like oh, you know, I don't have a local scene or whatever. Or I don't want to drive up to a tournament or something. I mean, like sometimes before work, for example, I'll boot up on ranked because obviously it would be harder to find someone at that time of day to, you know, get matches with. And ranked is like a good way to kind of just check like your general, like where you're at. But I wouldn't use ranked to improve per se. I'll use it more to get information that you can use to go back and improve. Like, okay, yeah, to expose your weaknesses. Yeah. So yeah, just use it to get information and then you go back and then do the actual things you need to do to improve, which is watch your replays, hit up practice mode, set up those dummies. Ranked has its own meta, yes, and that's why I don't think ranked. That's actually why I don't think ranked is a good way to like improve, because it kind of is a specific meta. I don't play the ranked meta. I just play like I normally play. And then I let other people do that meta bullshit because I think those people are kind of like holding themselves back by doing all those ranked like gimmicks, like one and dones, and like not playing somebody too many times so they don't know your strategy and all that kind. I don't do all that. I don't really do all that. That's kind of lame because you're not really gonna improve that way. So yeah, you use it to get information, and then you go to practice mode, set up your dummies. Discord, you gotta hit up some people for them first to 10s. Local tournaments, regionals. Yeah. So that's what you do you use rank to diagnose your playstyle and flaws, and then you go elsewhere and then actually improve with the other stuff I said. Terrence Viz asked, what are my favorite games to play on handhelds, along with Virtual Fighter stuff? We're still on some fighting game stuff right now, but my favorite games to play on handhelds, y'all want to know something crazy? This might be like a crazy take. I don't know. But I'm kind of starting to just play everything on handheld. Like I kind of like playing everything. I do think certain games make more sense on handheld, but I beat Cyberpunk 2077 almost mostly handheld. I've been playing Virtual Fighter handheld to like watch my replays and stuff. I played Pragmata mostly handheld, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to play everything handheld now. A lot of things. Because also life is getting like harder. So sometimes I can't just sit in front of a monitor all the time, man. So yeah. The gyro aiming was fire in Pragmata. Yeah, cool game. Cool. Switch 2, Motivo. Switch 2. So, and Virtual Fighter stuff. Yeah, Virtual Fighter. I kind of answered this a little earlier, Terrence, but yeah, Virtual Fighter. I'm just trying to reach I'm not trying to win tournaments, but there's just a certain level of play that I want to reach that is getting tough. And I won't spend too long on this because I know everybody isn't a fighting game person, but yeah, there's certain things with Virtual Fighter that I'm realizing like, oh, this game is like the skill ceiling is like really fucking high, because you know how people complain about getting trapped in combos in most other fighting games? Virtual Fighter kind of makes me appreciate getting just comboed all day in other games. What I mean by that is I almost rather get just fucking obliterated and comboed into the next century and know for a fact that there's nothing I could have done. I almost prefer that. Of like, yeah, I'm stuck in a combo and there's nothing I could have done. I just lost neutral and now it's over. That's not the case with Virtual Fighter. There are matches because Virtual Fighter doesn't have long combos. But there are matches in Virtual Fighter, if you're playing against a high level player, where it will feel like you can't do anything. It will feel like you can't do anything because they know the next thing you're going to do. Like, and I feel like when Virtual Fighter 6 comes out, I think people are going to have a similar sentiment. There are matches I do that to people where I'm like, of players who are lower, because I'm kind of intermediate at Virtual Fighter. So some people who are lower level than me, I'll be like, yeah, I know the next thing you're going to do. Like, but you're not aware that I know all your options. So Virtual Fighter is a game where like, and there's very few fighting games like this, where the back and forth is so fucking fast that it becomes a game of who sees what the other person is doing fast enough to continue predicting what the next person is going to do. So it'll just end up being these situations. Let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can, because I think there's a clip that happened to me today that shows you what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find it. Like, I got bodied today. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I found it. Okay, let me show y'all.
Round 4.
Cause this was like, damn, like, yeah, author, yeah. I almost want to be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, there's nothing I could have done. Knowing you could have done something hurts more. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, look at this.
Ready, go!
It happens at the end. Hold on, let me turn it down. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's too loud. Y'all saw that? Y'all saw what the fuck he did to me? I could have done something there, but he knew every option that I look at this again. Look at this again. If you weren't paying attention. That is Virtual Fighter. That is what is happening constantly in Virtual Fighter. It's like, it's a constant, do you know what the other person is going to do thing. It's not like you're getting comboed into the next century. It's just like, yeah, they know so those high level players, they know like, oh, when you roll, the only two things you can do are either guard, 2P, sidestep, or you can't sidestep here, you can guard here. So this is what I'm gonna do. They at every single moment they know like what 2 or 3 things you can do. So it becomes a back and forth of like who's doing that the fastest. Even right here, right? Because I kind of fucked somebody up earlier today. Right here. Wait, it's the final match. Oh yeah, okay.
Ready?
Look at this.
Round 3. Ready? Go!
Right here. Look.
Excellent.
And he wasn't a bad player. He wasn't a bad player. That's just Virtual Fighter. Like there's gonna be moments where like people just see what you're doing. Like they see what you're doing, and it's happening like very fast. So you have to quickly be like, oh shit, he changed. Like Virtual Fighter is pretty much like the person changes their strategy. And it happens like very fast, but you don't notice it. Or you might notice it. And then you change your strategy and then they notice it. And then you change your strategy and they notice it. But this is happening like every 3 or 4 seconds. It's not like Street Fighter 6 or even like KOF or Fatal Fury, where it's like y'all are kind of doing this like thing where you're kind of trying to like, oh, okay, I'm kind of slowly seeing what he's doing and I have time to like adjust, like, oh, okay, I can poke, you know what I'm saying? Like I can poke and like kind of like, oh, okay, he's trying to do this. You know, you can kind of slowly build damage and like get a idea of what they're trying to do. No, like Virtual Fighter is all of it's happening and you have to keep noticing like every 2 or 3 seconds. Like, oh, he switched again. Oh, he switched again. He switched. I switched. He switched. And it becomes like a very fast, like, back and forth. So what just happened to him here was not some like, oh, I did like a 500 hit combo.
Go!
Sidestep, block. He could have sidestepped, but he didn't. I jump back. And then right here, meaty. He got up, too slow, done. So there were several moments he could have done something, but I kept seeing it. It's scary, man. I'm telling y'all, when that Virtual Fighter 6 come out, there's gonna be a different conversation about like, oh wait, combos weren't why I hated fighting games. That's what other people are gonna be saying. It's like, no, give me the combos back. because I don't want to be guessing every 2 to 3 seconds. This is what I mean. The stuff like Marvel, stuff like Invincible, where you only have to guess like 2 or 3 times. I'm telling you, it's less stress. It is less stressful than what's going on here in these games. You know, I feel like that's how I was able to get to a certain point with KOF. You know what's crazy, Ashes? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I don't think it's gonna be a Samurai Showdown situation. The difference with Virtual Fighter 6 is one, SNK just is a mess in terms of like their history in the West. You know what I mean? As a company, they didn't proliferate in the same way in the West. And in terms of like how they handled their fighting games was just different, right? Sega kind of has like a different pedigree in terms of like how they're viewed in the gaming space. So that's the first thing. The second thing too, as someone who's in the SNK community and in the Virtual Fighter community, there was no Samurai Showdown community to the degree that there is of a Virtual Fighter community in America. Virtual Fighter has like established like big name players like in the FGC. Samurai Showdown did not have that. Fudo, is it Fudo? I'm pretty sure it's Fudo that I'm talking about. Yes, Fudo started in Virtual Fighter. Fudo is a big name like fighting game player who got big in Street Fighter 4. He started in Virtual Fighter. You know, and a lot of other players like I know my homie, I don't know if Juicebox is in here, but Juicebox plays Virtual Fighter. So what I'm saying is there's an established legacy for Virtual Fighter somewhat. Yeah, Itabashi. Yep. Started in Virtual Fighter. So there's somewhat of an established Tokido. Did Tokido win in Virtual Fighter? Yep. Tokido's from Virtual Fighter. Yeah. So Virtual Fighter has somewhat of like a legacy in the FGC. Samurai Showdown did not have that. The Samurai Showdown didn't have that. Samurai Showdown is very niche. Yes, and Virtual Fighter was huge in Japan. Again, Sam Show didn't have that. So Virtual Fighter 6 has a chance. Will it actually do it is like up to a lot of other factors, but it's not in the same position that Samurai Showdown was in at all. No, it's not. It has a chance. We'll see what happens. But I do think it's up in the air. It's up in the air. But Samurai Showdown was never, unfortunately, it didn't matter what they did. It was never gonna like hit a certain level. Yeah. But I have a theory though. I do think Virtual Fighter 6, I have a theory about how that game's gonna do. Based on what they're talking about in terms of how they're trying to push like the realism aspect, I think that's going to resonate with people who don't play fighting games in a way that no current fighting game has touched yet. In this current climate. Because, yeah. Especially in the sense that like Virtual Fighter has like a low skill floor, but the skill ceiling is high as fuck, probably higher than most games that are out. But just to play it like regular, it's easy to kind of get in the door with Virtual Fighter. So that realism aspect, the way it looks, and the fact that it has an established legacy in the FGC, there's a recipe there. And then I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a Yakuza character in there, so there's that element of it too that's gonna give it some kind of boost. Unfortunately, it gotta have a Yakuza character, so whatever. But nah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm very excited though. I'm not like a game anticipator. I'm not like a game anticipator. I don't really think about, but I say Virtua Fighter 6 is still my most anticipated game right now. Like, I'm very, very curious about what they're gonna do with that. Like, very curious. What up, Wolf? What up? What up? So yeah. Next question, because I think I'm almost through all of them. This one is interesting. How do you get your girl back when you've been in the wrong? I think is this person in here? Real Brit. I think that's him. Oh wait, sorry. Let me switch this up. Okay, yeah. So, bro, how do you get your girl back when you've been in the wrong, if it's a possibility? You both are not married, but definitely see that in this one and don't want to go back on the market. Okay, he said, damn, not the Brits. Okay, well, first of all, I've never been in a situation, and I say this very humbly, I've never been in a situation where I was in the wrong because of a breakup. So, and I don't say that, yeah, what kind of wrong is very important. But I don't say that in the sense that like, oh, I've never done anything wrong in a relationship. I mainly say that because I've only had a few real deal, like serious relationships, like maybe like 3 or 4. And yeah, there's just something that I haven't. It's never been the reason for a breakup. My breakups are always like, we're just on 2 different paths. That's mostly what mine have been. But what kind of wrong is very important. So if the wrong was you cheated or something, you might have to just like, you might just have to like take the L. Yeah, you might have to take the L if you like cheated or something. But if you like were abusive or something like that. But if it's like some kind of, it was a miscommunication or something like that, and it feels like it can be repaired, then I would suggest not forcing it, but maybe building like a friendship. It was all my fault. I didn't really know how to leave a 10-year relationship for a new one at the time. Wait, so you're saying you were in a 10-year relationship that you wanted to leave? Trust was low and I wasn't. Oh, so you didn't trust the girl. Wait. Went back to your ex while talking. No, okay. So what do you mean by trust was low? Say one more thing for me to make it more clear. You don't have to be like super specific, but because I want to respect your privacy. But he said trust was low and I wasn't healed from that old one. What do you mean by like you wasn't healed from the old one? Like were you still talking to the old girl, or like you felt like the current girl was gonna do something that like you didn't trust that she had good intentions, so you were like projecting something that the old girl did onto the new girl? Because if it's something like that, I think you can come back from that. If it was just like, oh, I was insecure, like, I was insecure. I didn't trust you, but now I think you can come back from that. But you can't try to rush it. Maybe be like, okay, let's start over. Like, let's start from the beginning. Like, let me take you on a date. Like, no expectations. Oh, so did you tell her that? The old one was a 10-year relationship. She cheated on me. I left. But didn't know if I wanted I realized I didn't want her while getting to know someone else. Fell in love. Oh. Oh, 4 years later, my ex calls her and tells her ex been out the picture. Oh my gosh, this is messy, dude. Huh. When was the last time you and the girl talked? So you said y'all are no contact right now. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna say, dude. This is what I'm gonna say you should do. Just hit her up. Tell her straight up, like, hey, look, let me take you out. Let's talk. Go on a nice date. To get her some flowers, and be like, hey, let's just start over from the beginning. And try to rebuild, but we don't have to like jump straight into a new relationship. You can do what you want. And yeah, just kind of like start over fresh, and don't rush things. That will be my suggestion. That will be my suggestion. But if that shit don't work, I'm gonna just let you know, man. Don't be too scared of the current market. There's some good people. There's some good people on Hinge. Don't use Tinder. But you might have to just put yourself back out there again, man, if you fucked up. There's some good women out there, so yeah, don't use Tinder. Just focus on Hinge if you got to put yourself back out there. Yeah, don't let people scare y'all, man. Like, I'm engaged. Use Match.com or something. They're serious. I'm crying. We're like, yeah, like, but just get back on the apps. It's over. It's Jover. No, I'm engaged. I found my fiance on Hinge. I don't know why people like I'm gonna keep saying this every stream. Bro, it's not the apps. Y'all gotta get good, man. Y'all gotta people be like, oh, it's the apps, oh, it's the apps. And then I look at their profile and it's boring as shit. The pictures are ass. And they're swiping on every girl that looks half decent, using up all their swipes. No. Like, why are you swiping on everybody? Swipe on someone who you think is going to be compatible with you. Don't swipe on someone just because they look good. Swipe if you think. This is like if you are a nerd, right? And you swiping on like a woman with butterfly eyelashes and a bust down and she got Henny, she at the club with the bottle girls and all that kind. If you swiping on that and you like, oh man, nobody wants me and I ran out of swipes. Why are you swiping on bullshit just because it looks nice? Think about the person you're swiping on. You know, but I will say I've been in my current listen, the problem with dating apps is that while you're talking to one girl and she's talking with 20, it's not a one-on-one combo. That's the case in real life too, actually. But it is the case on dating apps to a greater extreme. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, man. Like, and I'm not trying to turn this into like a gender thing. The guys out here are not that great. So, yes, she's talking to 20 different guys, but I'm telling you, if you are like actually holding like interesting conversations and you got your shit together, technically she's only talking to maybe like 3 or 4 guys. Like, people be like, oh, she's talking to 20 guys, and it's like 15 of them can't even form a like coherent sentence, or they're like, oh, nice tits, and then you know, like, that's the 20 guys. Yeah, I stood out from a lot of people in the cosplay community. Yeah. They probably asking ChatGPT for an opener. Yeah. You just, so yeah, she's talking to 20 guys for sure, but they not all, you know, quality guys. Ooh, Ace Thunder. A lot of people don't know themselves well enough to know who they're compatible with. I'm telling y'all, that's the big problem. That is the big problem, is that people are not totally honest about who they're compatible with. And they just be swiping on anybody. You know? You got to know who you're compatible with. You got to know who your target, who you appeal to. Then that makes it easier. But people aren't good at like knowing archetypes, is what I'm coming to understand. People are like, oh, attractive is attractive. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. You got to know your market. You got to know your demographic. It's similar with marketing. It's like YouTube. Like, you know, you start off making certain types of videos, and then after a while, you're like, okay, I know who my audience is. You know, so I make videos in this way, or I do these types of thumbnails, or I edit in this type of way, or, you know, there's a meta. There's a meta to it. pulling a girl by posting 1cc videos. Personal question, but have you ever been in a relationship with someone and realized you weren't compatible with them after a while being with them? Oh yeah. Yeah, that 1000% has happened to me. I think I talked about this with y'all a little bit, but like there was one girl, she was in the cosplay community actually. Heavy into anime and all that. And this is gonna sound crazy. Into anime, into gaming and all that. It made me realize like, oh, I'm actually not a part of that community. Like I'm not like I don't think I appeal to the average like or not even appeal. I think I do appeal to the average like nerdy girl. You know what I mean? I think that is within like my audience. Like that's within my like dating demographic in terms of like the types of girls I attract. But I don't think I'm super into like the stereotypical nerdy gamer girl. I don't think I'm really into like I don't like them that archetype that much. And it's kind of weird because it's like, yeah, I'm into gaming and all that, but there's just a certain vibe that like those types of girls come with that I don't know, I'm not really I think funnily enough, you know what's interesting? My interests are very nerdy and like obscure and niche and all that. But I do feel like my vibe is closer to like my personality and my vibe is closer to like how regular people think. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't think I have like a nerd personality. I don't think I have a nerd personality. Yeah, Frostnix. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. If dudes realized who they were competing with, they would feel more hope about their chances in the dating market. Motivo, how long before you realized you weren't compatible with that partner? Oh, it was about I'm be honest with you, it was about a year. Because they're not a bad person. But it's kind of like I was learning about myself in the process of being with that person too. I mean, like, oh, okay, I don't like this. Like, I don't really nerd interest, but regular person. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that over the years of hanging around here, you're very relaxed and chill. Yeah, I'm just not. I do feel like I'm like nerdy though. I do feel like I'm nerdy, but I just don't have that same. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think about it as a part of my identity in the same way that other nerds think about it as a part of their identity. So I've noticed that I'm just not compatible with some of the anime people and the gamer people and that kind of thing. I'm just not as compatible with some of those groups because yeah. Okay, can I ask how you ended that? Oh, I just ended. I just said, "Hey, look, I'm not really you're cool, but this isn't I don't think we're compatible, you know. yeah, I'm kind of like, when it comes to like breaking up, I'm kind of like a cold turkey, rip the Band-Aid off type of person, you know. Because I think about time a lot, and you know, I'm someone like, I want to fail quickly, so it's like, yeah, let's get through it, let's end it. I don't want to let this meander too long, because it'll get harder and more difficult as I wait. So for me, it's just like more of a mental. It's not about how you do it. It's about getting yourself in the mindset to do it. And I guess tricking yourself to realizing like, if I let this drag on any longer, the results will be worse. So it's a mindset thing. And then you'll know what you're supposed to say, what you're supposed to do. What up, Bacon? What up? Ashes, is that how you are? Is that how you are now, or were you always like that? Yeah, I do feel like I was always like this, but I think part of it, a big thing for me, okay, because I think I've told y'all some of these stories about like me being into a lot of these like nerdy things, right? And in real life having to engage with these different groups. I think I told y'all the Pokemon story. I think I told y'all, you know, the Yu-Gi-Oh story about like, there was a comic shop, right? And there was this college age dude who was like considered like the best. His name was Eli. And this was back in 1999, 2000. So I was at this comic shop, and the armpit sniffer lady. Yeah. No, y'all getting me off topic. No, but Eli was this college age dude. He was like the best Yu-Gi-Oh player in the city. We only had one comic shop, so anyone who played at that shop was considered a part of the Yu-Gi-Oh scene. He was college age, and I was 10 or 11. What up, Apache? I was 10 or 11. And no one had ever beat Eli. No, that the Pokemon story was from the community video. That was the Pokemon story. This is a different story. Everyone in that comic shop was white. I was the only black person. And when I was playing against Eli, I was running. Y'all probably don't know Yu-Gi-Oh that well to know what I'm talking about here, but I was running like a Gravedigger deck, and I used Gravedigger in a way that like no one had seen before, and everyone in the card shop started like gathering around. Like everyone in the card shop started like gathering around like, yo, I think this dude is about to beat Eli. Like, I think he's about to beat Eli. And it was getting down to the wire. And Eli started like cheating. Like, so he started like shuffling his deck, you know? And it was like, you're not allowed. And not only shuffling his deck, but he started like drawing more cards. And it's like, you're not allowed to do that. And he was like, shut up. You can do it. You're allowed to do it. And I was like, what? Like, no, you can't. And I think he thought because I was 11 that I couldn't like I didn't know that wasn't allowed. And no one was saying anything. And I was like, bro, you can't do that. Like, you can't like draw cards randomly during my turn. Like, and guess what? I still beat him. Like, I still ended up beating him even though he cheated. And then like everybody was like, yo, he just beat Eli. This dude just beat Eli. He just beat Eli. And like everyone now started talking to me, like, whereas before no one had talked to me in that card shop before until I beat Eli. And everybody was like, yo, you beat Eli. Hey, what cards do you have? Like, yo, you can we trade? Like da 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 da. So between that situation, the Pokemon situation, and just generally having like a lot of these moments where like even like when I was in the anime club at during college. You know what's crazy? I don't think I ever saw Eli again. I don't think I ever saw him again. But anyway, all of these different situations that happened to me where I think people looked at me in a certain way in terms of like testing my nerdiness, I guess, or testing if I was like really into the thing, that kind of I never really felt like I was truly a part of like the nerd group, because I didn't talk a specific way, or I didn't make certain jokes, or I looked a certain way, or I didn't care about certain shit. But I still knew about their hobbies or their interests to the same level that they did. I just didn't give a fuck about certain things in the same way they did. You know what I mean? So I think I've kind of always been that way because I was never even included in those groups to begin with. You know? So yeah, I was never like well, actually, somebody said it earlier. I think Serial Sensei said it earlier. Like, well, actually, like I was never that way because people always was trying to like try me in that way. And so that always turned me off from like nerdiness. You know what I mean? To the extent where like I think there's even a part of me that kind of like, oh, I gotta get good at the XYZ. I gotta, really know my shit to a certain degree so that I can even be included in have the chance to be included in certain conversations, but to begin with. The only community that didn't do this to me was the FGC. But that's, I don't want to get, we've talked about race enough, but I don't want to get deep into that. But FGC is the only community that didn't do this to me, but I think I know why. But yes, I did have like, exactly, Motivo. Yeah. So, but yeah, I never really felt included to begin with. So there's certain behaviors that I never picked up on as a nerd because the people that exhibit that behavior always tried to exclude me. So I just don't like acting that way. All that purity test. Yeah, rate and hate. Like all that purity testing shit is like not for me. That's not really my personality. Because those types of people. Yeah, and real talk is at the point now. I've been into gaming and all this shit so long. I know a lot more than a lot of the people who do all that purity testing shit. So now I'm even though I've always been this way, I kind of like lean harder into being this way now because it's like, yo, y'all don't even know what you're talking about and you acting like this. Similar to the Eli situation, like that dude was like super pretentious because he was the best Yu-Gi-Oh player and I ended up being the chill guy who beat him. You can be deep into shit without being like a dick. I don't know why people think that has to be like a package deal. Or like, oh, I'm super knowledgeable about mechs. I'm super knowledgeable about like, gameplay mechanics. I'm super knowledgeable about lore and all this. So I have to be an asshole. So I have to be a dick. So I have to be like annoying. You don't. It's not. I don't know why people think that has to come with it. It doesn't. It doesn't. You can be chill and know a lot of stuff. You can be chill and not make it like see, look at how much more I know than you, or look at how much better I am than you. I don't know why. I don't know, man. So that's the long answer. Oh, wow. We at 227. I didn't. Being the best doesn't matter. When I'm seriously into something, I'd rather not be the best and learn from the experiences of others. Shalon, yeah, a lot of people want to put on a performance of nerdiness instead of just being chill about it. Yes. Yeah. I was never into the performance. But I also think that and I'm about to wrap this up, but I think another element for why I was never really into the performance of all of it is because, like, I have other interests that are important to me. Like, all of this isn't like the only thing I'm into, right? Like, I was deep into music, or I am deep into music. I had issues with women for a long time, where I didn't know how to talk to women, and I didn't know how to, I didn't know if I was the most charismatic or the most attractive guy. So there's all of these other elements of my life that I'm trying to like improve on and trying to build on that kept me humble. To where I'm like, man, why am I flexing about how much lore I know about or how good I am at this fighting game and trying to hold that over people's heads? And, I don't got my finances in order, or, I don't have the girl that I want yet, or, my health ain't the best, or whatever the case may be, or like, this song that I'm making isn't, like, there's all of these things that I'm trying to build on and be better at. So me trying to make, I'm super good at this, look at, you haven't played all of the Shin Megami Tensei series, so I'm better than you. Like, making that the thing when I have like all of these other things in my life that are more important or bigger deals, it just feels silly to like be having wars about or trying to be egotistical about fucking video games. I'm a complete person, so like I can't make that like the thing, that I try to be like pretentious about. It's weird, I don't like it. So yeah, I didn't expect to go there with it, but I think that's a good thing to end on. Did anyone listen to the Drake album, by the way, before I go? Did anyone finish it? I didn't. I got to track 7 and I was like, I can't do it. You listened to it twice, Jay? That's a lot of songs, Jay. I couldn't do it. Apache said, I haven't been shopping today, though. Oh, you were at work. Okay, I got you, Jay. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. This happens every Drake album. I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot. And then I get to like halfway through and I'm like, nah, never mind. He's still the same. Did I watch the trailer for 1 a.m. in Tel Aviv type music is crazy. Stranger Than Heaven. Let me watch the Stranger Than Heaven trailer. Let me do this for y'all. Do I have a favorite Drake song? I'd say my favorite Drake song is probably The Presentation from Comeback Season. I like that song. That's probably like the immediate thing that comes to mind. Peace out, ZK. Let me see. Oh, it's just story? Oh, I saw Snoop Dogg was in there. Yeah, Comeback Season is fire. I like that. I like that mixtape. I like mixtape Drake, his old mixtape. Where's the game? Oh, there we go.
I know, but I can't just leave it alone. If I don't settle this, my life can't ever begin.
This song is fire.
Nice to know you're not scared.
What's a man gotta do for a little piece of quiet? Dive through the silence where the memories blurred.
Remember my promise, yeah?
Tori Kelly.
Home country. That's the only choice we got.
This is a good trailer. I'm just trying to see gameplay though. I don't really care about. Okay. Centers for Japanese. Yeah, there's barely any gameplay here, but that was interesting. I like that. It was good music. Okay, that was cool. That was interesting. I know I'll be technically it's not Yakuza, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, there were black people there, so I'm hyped. Oh, they had a longer presentation with gameplay?
Persecution. Their artists.
このようにこうした基本戦闘のみパワーを込めた強い攻撃を繰り出したりすることも自由自在です。他にも敵の攻撃を片方の手で防ぎ即座に反撃するなど相手のアクションを見極め決定的な攻撃の瞬間をプレイヤー自らがデザインできることが本タックルの勢いのままマウントを取って攻撃といった状況でもリアルに左右の手を使ってアクションしているかのような感覚を味わうことができます。本作のもう一つのコンバットシステムの大きな特徴に武器の存在があります。大東は素手での戦闘のみならず包丁、ハンマー、刀と様々な武器との出会いがありこれらを手にして戦い抜きます。本編の壮大な物語の多くの局面ではこれらをいつ装備しどう戦っていくかが生き残っていくための鍵となって生まれた品など様々です。新たに手に入る素材を武器に注ぎ込むことでための手段が増えていきます。ストレンジャーズ・アンヘブグレードを行うことで生き残るための手段が増えていきます。ストレンジャーズ・アンヘブンではこうした気を一瞬で倒すことができる大技。
Am I still here? Okay, I hope I'm still here. But yeah, if there's no RPG elements, I'll consider it. But this looks like a This looks like a good time where I got to dip because it looks like something's going on with my OBS. It's like Yakuza, you have a skill tree that sometimes adds to health, but largely is for new attacks or combat. Oh, okay, got you. I got to go anyway. I got to dip anyway. But okay, you guys, that's it for today. We working on the new video. It'll be done before the end of the month, before Summer Games Fest at least.